And Bill, after you graduated from high school, what did you do then?
Well, I worked on a section gang in the summer of 40. Then I got a part-time job in the mill at $5.20. But they went out on strike. See, and my mother told me when I got out of high school that you work a year and you don't have to pay any room and board, and then you can go to college. Well, I wasn't college material, and I worked a year off and on. And when I joined the Navy a year later after I got out, I had $12 on me. And I wanted to join the Navy in the worst way. But I got that kicked out of me and fast. I thought it was going to be fun and games, the girl in every port. It wasn't that way at all.
Why did you join? Because you always wanted to be.
When I was a junior in high school, I wanted to quit school and join the Navy,
Just
but
to have fun and.
my mother wouldn't let me,
Uh-huh.
and I'm glad she would.
So when did you enlist? Was that before we got into the war then?
Yeah, May of 1941, 6 months and a half before the war started.
Okay. And you were sent down to San Diego, is that right?
Well, I picked up my first ship in Bremerton, and we went down to San Diego, down to San Pedro, and before the war we go from San Pedro, California, to Hawaii, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and on our sixth trip, it was December the 6th, 1941. It was the day before the war started.
When you pulled into Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were between the California and Oklahoma, and Arizona was 3 ships down the line. That was our berth. We get rid of our aviation gas. Well, the next day, all hell broke loose.
And you were on what ship now?
USS Neosho.
Neosho.
It was the largest oil tanker in the world, 553 feet. And nowadays, the oil tankers are just twice as big. But it was a big ship, and it was a good ship.
And what did you do? What was your...
I was a fireman in the Black Egg, fireman 3rd class. They don't come any lower than that.
How did you get sunk?
Huh?
How did you get your ship sunk?
Well, we got...
I'll get into that, but I first
Okay.
wanted to go back to Pearl Harbor. You
Yeah.
pulled in on the December 6th.
And then the next morning, I was just getting off a watch, talking to the guys down the compartment when heard some loud noises, and some guy come running down, the Japanese, well, they said the Japs, because we ain't here. Japs are bombing us, the Japs are bombing us. So I run to my battle station, and I'm not bragging, but I was the first one there. But everything was locked up. I was, and when I was running into my battle station, running this catwalk, and I looked up, and here was a torpedo plane, dropped her, let its torpedo go, and it was just pulling up, and I seen this Japanese rear gunner, and he was laughing. And later on in the battle, I was laughing because I was so goddamn scared, and so was the guys by me. He react different ways, but I was scared.
So what did you do during the attack? I mean, what was that like?
We was an auxiliary ship. We weren't a warship, see.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty crude affair. The #1 magazine was right down in the bow of the ship, and you had a block and tackle, and you put the hook down, and they'd hook it onto the box of ammunition. We'd pull it up, we'd open the box up, and hand the shells one by one. We had 3. Each box held 3 shells, and they'd be firing away. And like I said, we hit the sky every time, but you ain't gonna hit no airplane when they're right on top of you, and they're 3-inch shell. The only way you shoot them down is with a machine gun. So anyway, we were trying.
Yeah. Do you remember when the Arizona was hit? Because that was berthed right near you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 3 ships down the line. Of course, the ships were 624 feet at the time. Yeah, I heard a loud explosion, and I think that's when it is. I know shortly after we were fighting, and I looked back, and the first ship down the line was the Oklahoma, and she turned over, and the hull was sticking up, and I couldn't figure out what it was until someone told me that the Oklahoma's turned over. California was sinking in the mud. West Virginia took 7 hits, and their ships were, the battleships were 222, most of them, you know, and there was a Oklahoma, and the Maryland was inside her, and I saw her take a hit. Then there was West Virginia and Tennessee, and then after that was Arizona, and they had an auxiliary ship beside them, and down the line behind the last one was a Nevada all alone, and she made a run for the channel, and she went by us steaming full bore, and 3 Japanese airplanes chasing her, and they didn't make it. She had to beach her. Anyway, about 40 or 45 minutes afterwards, there was slight lull in the battle, and we pulled out, backed out, right next to the Oklahoma that was turned over, and went across the channel and hid behind a building. And then the second wave come in, and we heard the fighting, but we didn't see anything. And our captain got the Navy Cross because he saved our ship. And they could have sunk us any time, but it was Battleship Day. Okay, so now you heard my version of Pearl Harbor. Well, I think we got beat. Yeah.
It must have been quite a shock for everybody there.
I wanted to cry. No kidding. Here we were the best Navy in the world, and we got this Jesus kicked out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.